All right, it's time for a new project. You know what they say when you're starting to get traction on your other videos with your trailer and you're starting to get over 1,000 views, change it up. You know, the algorithm really likes it when you just change up content like that. But anyways, we've had this project for a while. This is a 61 Buick Convertible LeSabre. It does have a bit of an identity crisis, I believe, because I don't think it's supposed to have 4 of these scoops. According to my research, I think it's only supposed to have 3, so maybe the front fenders were changed. They do look a little misaligned there, but that could just be old car stuff. We bought this around COVID, so it's been kind of sitting here for about 5 years because it drove okay home. Like around 30 miles an hour, this thing was the floatiest boat you've ever seen. Like it got almost uncontrollable past 30 miles an hour. So I believe it's gonna need at least shocks, maybe some bushings. The other thing too is the fan on the front, since it's bolted to the engine, it is very loud. It sounds like a vacuum cleaner as it's going down the road. So I think I need to take that off and put an electric fan. And then you can't hear the exhaust. Now, some people really like not being able to hear the exhaust, but that's not me. But let me walk you around this rig. All right, so you can see it's got the white walls. It's got some really cool body lines that I really like. So we got this for what I would call a steal, especially in California for a convertible. It looks like somebody already started the body work, but we'll probably have to go through and address all that. It's got one of those reach in kind of back windows. Yeah. So it all looks like it's there, which is nice. All the trim looks like it's there. LeSabre. So this side is, I don't know if it has a good side or a bad side. More of the white walls. So this right here, so for the 5 years we've owned it that it's sat here, we've had a tarp over it and then a car cover over the tarp. The window regulator on this is bad. So it took a while to actually find a window regulator. So I got the parts for that. Up here, you can see this kind of a little bit misaligned right there. We'll probably have to dive into that because you can see that this fender's just a little bit further forward than the hood. But we'll figure it all out. But let's open up the hood. All right, so this has one of those like complicated hoods where it has one release to release it, and then there's another release that's a different handle. So you got to reach around and okay. So that same handle that you just did this to, then you got to reach over to your left, and then it's another handle. So I can show you right here. So you're first grabbing this handle, which releases that hood latch and this hood latch. So there's 2 hood latches. And then you go over to that one. All right, so what you're looking at here is I believe a 364 cubic inch Nailhead engine. You can tell it's Nailhead because the valve covers are pretty much straight up. They're not at a 45-degree angle. They're just straight up and down. Almost kind of looks like a flathead in a way, just a small flathead. But everything in here looks relatively stock. Got the glass bottle. Looks like a vacuum reservoir. Some of the problems we had when we got this home, other than the floating issue, was I believe, so this has a 2-piece drive shaft. So the drive shaft's gonna come out and then have a center support bearing, and then it's gonna go back to the rear differential. I believe that center support bearing went out because we started hearing like a clunk, clunk, clunk. And I had a 62 Cadillac at one point and similar problems, so I kind of knew what that vibration actually was. The other thing was the radiator started exploding out. So yeah, our COVID deal started, paying dividends there. So what the goal is for today is to get it back running, possibly pull it out. And I don't know if I'll replace the window regulator today. I do have that. But so that is the goal. And the goal is also to introduce you guys into this project, because we've done a lot with the trailer, and there'll be a link in the description if you guys want to watch everything we did with the trailer. This is the fan that I was talking about right here, this mechanical fan. And when the top is down and you just got the wind going through, you hear like the like from the front of this thing. So it would be nice to put an electric fan in there. So I got a lot of parts to throw at this. Let's see if we can't wake up this 64-year-old car. All right, so let's take the air cleaner off. It's got just a nut, not a wing nut. All right. No critters found their home in here, so that's good. This is a killer 2-barrel. Oh yeah. All right, so there's all the cobwebs. Let's see. Nothing's frozen. I mean, realistically, it only sat for 4 or 5 years. So hopefully. The gas should still be good, right? That's fancy California gas. All right, so I've had the battery on boil for 4.5 years. So let's hope that that still works. Let's see. All right. I don't hear anything on fire. The garage is a little scared though. All right, so I'm gonna go inside and let's try to turn it over. Well, the interior lights are on. Cobwebs. So as you can see from the inside of this, it has a bit of a identity crisis. It has green floors, a really nice blue dash, but then red interior. So yeah, I don't know about that. So we need to kind of pick a color here. And I think it's going to be easier to go with maybe a black carpet. And then maybe we can dye this red blue or just change everything out. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I figured we at least see if it turns over. Make sure it's not locked up. I don't think it's going to be locked up. All the lights are working. Let's see. Nothing. So maybe we need more power. All right. I got my diehard battery charger. This thing we can throw a bunch at it. So let's go. So we're throwing 200 amps at it. That should at least get something happening. Wow, the inside lights are brighter. Oh, we have movement. Not a lot of movement, but we have movement. It's definitely turning all the way over. I can see the fan spinning. Oh. We're still going, apparently. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's still going. Let me just... Alrighty. There we go. Hopefully that reset the... Alright. Sounds like the starter's stuck there. These are nice and hot. Let me just go ahead and turn this off. Because, wow. So the starter didn't disengage. That's usually the solenoid. So that's fun. That's buried underneath, and then we have a lot of Black Widows here, so I'm sure it's in the haven of Black Widows. So let me see if this thing's still oh. Just leave it unplugged for a second. It's kind of like a, you know, this is the old version of electronics. You just got to hit that Control-Alt-Delete, and that's what the old version is right there. Just leave it unplugged for a bit. So we can see if it does that again. I'm not hooking it up to that thing, so I don't know what's going on with that. Oh, well, it actually shut itself off now, so that's good. So now let's, now that we know it turns over and doesn't want to stop turning over, let's make sure we're getting spark. And then from there, maybe we'll throw some gas down it. All right, so we got a spark tester. So I'm just gonna pull this off. More than likely, I'm gonna have to clean the points, but if I don't have to clean the points, then maybe that would be nice not to. So basically you're just putting this in line, and this thing should get all blinky and start flashing if we're actually getting spark. It's usually better to have this in kind of like a dark area, so sometimes even having your hand around it without getting electrocuted. So you guys stay right here and let me know if it's sparking. All right, so what'd you guys see?
I didn't see it.
Well, that's a good sign. That means the distributor kept way back there. The only other thing I can think of is maybe we need to crank it over a little bit harder. You know what happened last time? It didn't want to stop. Ah, you said you didn't see it. Now it's there with 200 amps. Ah, my lovely assistant did see it. What we're gonna try now is maybe try squirting a little bit of gas down there, see if it pops off. And or we're gonna maybe try some ether if that doesn't do it. But we'll be right back. Sometimes, like, even on camera, you can't see those. So then, like, so sometimes with that, you need to be like this, because
Yeah.
I think it's the refresh rate of the camera.
The first time I was looking at the camera because I was trying to get it really close, but the second time I was looking at it directly and I did see it. I don't know. Possibly it was on the camera the first time.
All right, I got some really old smelling gas that I think I took out of a lawnmower or something. Doesn't smell good, but should be enough to get this old girl started up. Let's just hope, oh, yeah, there's a lot in there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's probably good enough. We'll see how that goes. All right, so it's either gonna start up or catch on fire. Hey, hey, look at that. Hey, look at that. We got a runner. So you get to see, she wanted to be lit off. And this obviously was not enough gas. Even though, like, everything's kind of soaked over here. So we're basically doing this enough to see if this fire hazard of a fuel filter starts getting gas up to it. Oh, yep, just missed everything there. All right, that should be enough to flood it. We'll see. Well, you know, it's certainly turning over a lot smoother. I think we need to upgrade to possibly a plastic bottle that I can squirt it in a little bit more gingerly. All right, so just take your favorite water bottle, poke a hole in it, and then we'll fill this up with gas, hopefully spilling it everywhere. Does it fit? Oh, look at that, it fits. All right. All right, so you definitely want your gas to look like you're a little bit dehydrated. That's what it's supposed to look like right there. All right, so we'll set this up so that I have a better view. Probably one of the things I should be doing is trying to fill up the float right there so it would run a little bit longer. Okay, that's probably way too much, but we'll see. Oh. Might have flooded it, but it probably needs the choke on because, you know, I think after 5 years you need a choke going on. Yeah, so maybe somewhere right there, and then maybe we give this thing all 200 ponies. Now whether, we're not blaming anybody here, but maybe I put in too much gas, I don't know. But I didn't want to have to bring out the old ether. Didn't want to have to do it, but they're making me do it. All right. Well, at least it includes cylinder lubricant. All right, that didn't get it. Maybe it'll cause a fire. Everybody loves ether. I'm just letting you know. So we're still waiting for it to pull up gas from the back. Now keep in mind, that's like 20 feet away, so it's got a lot to pull. And I feel like the last time we actually had this running, I feel like there was a gas leak down there somewhere. So keeping that in mind as well. Yeah, I don't think the choke is actually hooked up from the inside, so that's kind of fun. Let's just hope carb doesn't need a rebuild. All right, I'll set that on the battery. That's a perfect place for that. All right. All right, so the goal is to actually get this started long enough so I can come around and keep it running. So we'll see how that goes. My lovely assistant says gas is in the thing. Oh, there's something in there. Yeah, I don't know if that gas is good because it doesn't look as yellow as this. I think it's supposed to look a lot more yellow. Well, at least we know the mechanical fuel pump's working. Oh, it's definitely working because it's dripping down there. That's how you know it's working, if it's dripping. Well, that was as long as it's ever ran, and that looks like a ton of gas right there. And let's see how big our... So if you come down here, you can see it's dripping right there. Looks like there's a inline filter down there. And it's dripping from somewhere. So that's fun. So I'm gonna fill that back up. And then give it a few sprays. Hopefully there's no massive backfires or anything. You know, it might like a bit of choke. It's like an idle circuit's just going now. Well, this is progress. I've made it over here. Let me turn this down. Well, there you have it. It's actually running now. Sounds pretty good. Tiny bit of a valve tick. It's a good running car though. Here, let me show you. I don't know if you can see. Right there is where it's definitely a leak happening with the gas. So right now it's actually pulling from the gas tank. So in case you're wondering, the gas tank is, yeah, I'm still walking. Yep, here it is. And then here's what she sounds like. So that's not bad. She sounds pretty good. I think we're gonna let her run just for a little bit, but I'm probably gonna put some water in it real fast. All right, so nothing but the best for this beauty queen. She's got California's best garden hose water. Now, obviously we're changing out the radiator, so no need in putting like actual coolant. And where we're at in Southern California, it does not get below freezing. So we're just gonna fill this up so we don't do anything crazy to the block. Overheat it. And then you guys get to see where it starts spewing from. The radiator's probably repairable. And it actually looks like it's copper. So maybe that'll be an option in the future. But I've already bought an aluminum 3-core eBay special for this. Because, as I said, nothing but the best. Got it. So we'll probably leave that hose over here, start it back up again. It's not actually a good thing that this hose right here is actually higher than this, because this should be the highest point. So, and this hose feels pretty stiff. So hopefully when it starts circulating around. So I think we start it back up now, if it'll start. Ooh, right up. I'm telling you guys, she's a runner. It's also good to have the hose right here, especially when you have a fuel leak, so you can put out the fire before the fire department, hopefully. Well, I can see the water circulating. See, most people want green colored coolant. No, no, no. You know you're living when it's all brown like that. It needs to look like a chocolate shake. Yeah, it's kind of acting like it doesn't have a thermostat. There's no way it's even warm enough for that. Also, it kind of sounds like the tick is kind of dying down a little bit. So, I'll put that back on. All right, so literally the next thing that we need to do is we need to figure out where that fuel leak is actually happening. I kind of feel like it's happening somewhere around that fuel filter. I don't know, because we got this filter, which looks like the stock one, and then there's another one down there, so I don't know if somebody was having trouble with this one, but it might be easier at this point just to bypass it. So I think we're gonna shut her down. Oh, so I think before we shut her down, I think we should just see how much is working in here. So, brakes feel okay. I hear it. Let's drive. That works. There's low. Here's reverse. Let's see. And brake is released. Let me put it back in drive and let's see. Let me double check to make sure I didn't put any bricks or nothing behind any of the tires. Well, it's either that or literally a brake is held up, so that'd be fun. Ah, there is a brick. It is a big brick. Does sound good. It seems like it's even clearing up a little bit more. Oh. Whoa, look at us go. All right. So now we got to figure out where that fuel leak is, and then maybe we'll drop the top and cruise it around the block. Ooh, backfire. All right, so backed it up. This is the 5 years worth of pine needles that have been underneath it. Surprisingly enough, no big leaks. So what the plan is now is to take the jack it up, because where the fuel filter down here actually is, it's actually leaking behind it. You can see it dripping right there now that we're in a dry spot. So I'm gonna see what I can do here. I got some fuel line and a barb fitting. Maybe I could just bypass that fuel filter. Because there is this other sentiment one right here, and it seems okay for now. So I'm just gonna jack up the car, get underneath, and I'll bring you back in. All right, so right here. So unfortunately, the fuel line actually goes inside of the frame rail right there. But it seems to, I can't tell if it's leaking from the fuel filter itself or if it's leaking from this fitting. I think the best thing to do is just to take the whole thing off and then just maybe run a barb from right there all the way to up there. Oh, found the problem. Gas line was completely ripped right there. So that's fun. So yeah, and got gas all the way down my arm, so that's also fun. All right, well, at least we know what the culprit is. Eventually we're gonna need to run new fuel line, but I think I can patch it up for now. All right, got it all fixed up. Let's take you in down here. A little dark. All right, so the fuel line is coming out of this frame rail, and then I just put a barb in the middle and extended it. So I think when we change out the drive shaft center support bearing, if that's what's bad with it, we'll hook on a new piece onto the barb fitting and then just pull it through the frame rail so that we have a new fuel line. It did feel a little bit old and crunchy, but I'm just trying to stop the fuel leak for now. This doesn't look like it'll get into anything, but if it does, maybe I'll just tie wrap it over. I'm just going to leave the fuel filter that they had going into the fuel pump, and then it has another one past the fuel pump. So I'm just going to leave all that, and then there'll probably be a little bit air in the line, but as long as the bolt is full, and not to mention how bad that was, it was probably like the fuel pump is probably like if you cut a hole in your straw and trying to suck through it, like it'll probably run a lot better now. All right, she's down off the jack stands. So this is the monstrosity that I created. I just want it so that it doesn't leak everywhere. We're gonna fire it back up right now and hopefully it doesn't leak. Might have been a bit of an air bubble since we unhooked that fuel line, but she's back. And she's gone. That was fun. That didn't last long, did it? Well, it wasn't leaking. Maybe that was the air bubble. Yeah, it might have created an air bubble in the whole line. But we got some ether, so hopefully that does something. It did something for a second. Wouldn't that be funny if it's actually out of gas now? All right, turns out it might have just been low on gas. She's back running. All right, so just gonna take it for a little test drive, and we'll pick you back up. I guess no test drives. But if you want to see more content with this car, like, share, subscribe, but we'll see you next week. See if we can't find the ticket for a test drive. I'm assuming it needs a little work. Hey, look at that. Got her back home. This old Buick.